that we are resetting our economy. Today's theme, currency stability, a reset for sustainable economic growth, calls for the same wisdom. Just yesterday, we launched the 60th anniversary of the Cedi with the Bank of Ghana. The Cedi is our legal tender, which represents our discipline, productivity, and the choices we make as a nation. The value of the Cedi is determined by hard work and trust from people and institutions. What we celebrated yesterday was a commemoration of our national efforts and endurance. When the Cedi weakens, it is not only economists who feel the pain. Every household suffers the consequences. When the Cedi is stable and the economy is calm, inflation slows, credit becomes cheaper, and households feel secure. This is why macroeconomic stability must not be dismissed as a simple, abstract achievement. Ghana's monetary story holds many chapters, from the British pound and the changes brought about by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah through the redomination of 2007 till now. Throughout these chapters, we have learned that when we depend too heavily on raw exports and excessively on imports, and when we fail to discipline our fiscal habits, the Cedi pays the price. Today, through prudent expenditure cuts, strengthened internal controls, and sound financial management, our economy is restoring confidence, rebuilding value, and achieving tangible economic gains. And as our speaker said, and quoted somebody yesterday, Cedi no pick. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of 2025 is one of cautious hope. The Cedi has strengthened significantly, recovering from the turbulence of a few years ago when it was named the worst performing currency globally. Inflation soared, and today we have 9.4%. And I think yesterday I made a mistake by referring to 13.something%, and I apologize for that. Indeed, the current picture is more optimistic now than we had a couple of months ago. And our gold reserves have multiplied. Agreements with creditors have eased debt distress. The fiscal reforms are beginning to bear fruit. These are not miracles. They are the outcomes of deliberate, disciplined choices. The Bank of Ghana's careful policies, stronger export performance, and the Gold Board initiative, which ensures our gold directly strengthens our own reserves, have helped to increase confidence both at home and abroad. Investors are returning. However, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the time for complacency. It is a time for consolidation. To make this recovery durable, we must do a few things. First, we must add value to what we produce. The Cedi will never be as strong as it should be if we continue to export, for example, cocoa beans instead of chocolate, bauxite instead of aluminum, and gold dust instead of jewelry. And we are happy that the Cocoa Board and the Gold Board are leading reforms to fix this. Every stage of processing that happens in Ghana keeps value here, strengthens our Cedi, creates jobs, and adds to our dignity as a people. Our farmers, artisans, and other professionals deserve to see the full reward of their labor at home. Additionally, we must empower small businesses and our youth. Are the youth here today? They didn't come. You are the lifeblood of our economy. Through training, de-risk lending, and targeted support, we will unlock entrepreneurship and innovation. And I know that the youth will be up to the task. Or you don't think you will be up to that task? These commitments form the architecture of sustainable currency value and the foundation of national economic resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, stability is not a gift. It is a sign of discipline. It is built on habits such as paying taxes regularly and honestly, producing more than we consume, demanding accountability from all citizens, working together for the common good, and investing in our own capacity to add value. Our partnership with international institutions must always serve Ghana's interest. We welcome cooperation, but we must never trade away our productive capacity or our self-respect. True sovereignty is not an isolation. It is the courage to make difficult choices for posterity. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rare opportunity in 2025 to turn emergency recovery into enduring transformation. Adding value to our fields, our factories, and classrooms, and our policies will help the Cedi stand steady, and we will all be the better for it. I want to thank you for your kind attention, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Celebrated our progress, we must confront a sobering truth. Stability is fragile, and history offers no permanent guarantees. The gains we have achieved are not trophies to display. They are responsibilities to defend. Three structural challenges stand before us. First, global shocks. We remain a small open economy, exposed to external winds that can shift abruptly. The World Bank's August 2025 economic update projects Ghana's growth to moderate from 5.7% in 2024 to 3.9% in 2025, as global demand cools and financing conditions tighten. A dip in commodity prices, especially gold and cocoa, or geopolitical disruptions in energy markets could easily erode our recent gains. The global environment reminds us that resilience must be built, not borrowed. Second, domestic production constraints, particularly in energy. Our industrial base cannot thrive on intermittent power or high tariffs. Analysis by the Clean Air Task Force, June 2025, highlight persistent inefficiencies in the electricity value chain, legacy debt, tariff misalignment, and operational bottlenecks. Without structural reform, the sector's funding gap, estimated at $2.2 billion for 2025, will continue to weigh on fiscal space and industrial competitiveness. Currency stability ultimately is not sustained by interventions, but by production. And production depends on reliable, affordable energy. Third, the political economy of discipline. As we enter an election cycle, the temptation to ease fiscal controls is real. Yet, as the World Bank cautioned, Ghana's recovery hinges on maintaining credible consolidation. Fiscal slippage, no matter how well-intentioned, could undo hard-won confidence, raise interest rates, and put renewed pressure on the Cedi. The discipline that restores stability must now mature into a culture, a culture that treats stability not as a phase, but as a shared national ethic. So this is not a time for self-congratulation. It is a time for collective vigilance. Every ministry that sets spending priorities, every boardroom that allocates capital, and every household that makes financial choices is in a sense a custodian of the cedi. The currency's value tomorrow will reflect the prudence, productivity, and purpose we display today. As we look ahead, one message ought to be loud and clear. No single actor can pull this off alone. The transformation we seek is inherently collaborative. First, let me commend the private sector. You have stepped up in the revival of the capital markets, in investment in renewable and transition energy projects, in fintech innovation and SME growth. Your dynamism matters, but this must be complemented by strong collaboration across three pillars. First, government, policy consistency, clarity of regulation, predictable frameworks for business and investment. Now, banks and financial institutions channeling credit into the productive sectors, into manufacturing, value chain exports, and green finance, not simply into short-term speculation. Academia and research institutions building the skills, the innovation, the technology-driven platforms that allow us to leap forward rather than catch up. In this spirit, the Bank of Ghana stands ready. We open our doors to dialogue and innovation partnerships. We invite you, industry, academia, global partners, to shape pilot programs, fintech sandboxes, industrial finance frameworks aligned with Ghana's sustainability, value addition, and industrial goals. Let us be clear. Currency strength is as much about what we build together as we regulate. Bank of Ghana regulates alone. Our value addition agenda depends on collaboration, coordination, and shared responsibility. Now, in closing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us draw things together with both pride and purpose. We stand today at a remarkable juncture for our nation. Our economy is not just returning to normal. It is refocusing, rebuilding, and resetting. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, is no longer simply a medium of exchange. It is a representation of our collective ambition. It stands for confidence restored, productivity revived, and national purpose renewed. But let me emphasize one final point. The strength of the cedi is not guaranteed by decree. It is earned by every day by what we do. It is earned every day by what we do. It is earned by the worker in the factory line, by the innovator writing codes in Accra, by the farmer in the field processing value-added cocoa, by the boardroom choosing long-term investment over short-term gain. It is earned by every household choosing to save in Ghana's currency because it believes the cedi will hold value, not just tomorrow, but for the next decade. With stability, production, and innovation as our pillars, with partnership as our mode, and with vigilance as our ethic, Ghana's currency can once again be a source of national pride. Let this forum mark the moment where we move from stabilization to transformation.
Subscribe to Morris TVGA.